Hi ladies, welcome back to The Balanced Mom. I'm Andrea.
And I'm Alana. Today we're going to be giving you 10 tips to help you feel more connected to your spouse.
So we don't have these in any particular order, except for the last one. We wanted to keep the last for best, so make sure you stick around to hear that. Number one, make sure that you have regular date nights out of the house with your husband. So whether that means getting a babysitter or friends to watch your kids and then flip that and you watch their kids as they go out on a date, but find that time to be able to go out with your spouse.
And it could be once a week, it could be once a month. Just make sure you have it regularly scheduled so that you don't miss out on it.
And get it written in the calendar. That's a big one for me. I feel like I'll tell myself that I want to do more regular date nights and my husband will agree and we want to, but the only time it became a regular thing is when we wrote in our calendar.
Something my husband and I do to keep ourselves accountable for date nights is we found friends that we really enjoy hanging out with. Happens to be these guys, and we invite them out to our date night once a month. And that really helps because if you have friends that you go out with, it forces us to go out because we don't have a choice.
Also, make sure you set aside some money for your date night, because if you don't and you're a very frugal person like me, you'll really struggle to justify going out regularly with your spouse. You might even convince yourself that it's a waste of money. But in reality, your marriage is one of the most important things, and investing in it is crucial.
Make sure that you guys shake it up. Don't always go out to eat. Me and my husband have done all sorts of things that are really fun. We've done escape rooms, the movies, geocaching, a trampoline park. So just look up fun things to do in your area and just check them out. You never know what you're gonna like. Number 2, date night ins. These are also super important, especially for those of you who can't afford to go out every week. We personally only do date night outs once a month, sometimes twice a month, but usually we do date nights in on the opposite weeks. Some of the things we do for date night ins is we do at-home escape rooms, we play board games, we do dancing classes on YouTube, we do art classes on YouTube. There's so many ideas. Just go on Pinterest, look on Google. You can find so many fun things to do. We will be releasing another video specifically focused on date night ins, so be on the lookout for that.
So typically we struggle to do our date night in because our kids go to bed a bit on the later side, so they go to sleep between 8 and 9. And to be honest, by the time that time comes around, we are tired and we don't really want to play a game or do something fun. So we definitely have to be very intentional with it. Number 3, make sure that every single week you write down in your calendar a specific night where we count it talk night. It is our time to bring up any issues we might have, and by that I mean things that frustrated me. Maybe I asked him to take out the garbage, and maybe I'm having one of those fussy days and I get frustrated. That would be the right time to bring it up instead of bombarding him randomly when he gets home from work or that night shutting off and not talking.
We call those nights our check-ins, and what we do is we see how the other person is doing emotionally, how they feel about our relationship, and we also ask the other person what we're doing well in our relationship and what we can do better to help them feel more loved. Number 4, know each other's love languages. This is super important. So to recap, in case you're not familiar with what the love languages are, they are physical touch, words of affirmation, acts of service, gifts, and quality time. If you're not familiar with it, I would definitely recommend Gary Chapman's 5 love languages. People express and receive love differently, and if you don't know what your husband's love language is, there's going to be a lot of miscommunication. So you want to make sure you know what it is so that you can show him love in a way that he understands it.
Number 5, make sure that your spouse feels appreciated. Whatever their love language is, use that love language to show them that you appreciate what they did.
Even if it's something small, like thanking them for doing the dishes in the morning before they go off to work, or for taking out the trash the night before, just make sure you let them know that you appreciate the little things that they do.
And if you are a stay-at-home mom, make sure you show them that you really do appreciate them working for the family, because in reality, I don't know if anyone has thought about this, but many guys don't actually have a choice. Some women have a choice to stay home while they don't.
Number 6, have some friendly competition going. My husband and I are really good at this. We have a paper plastered up in our kitchen that has all of the games that we play on a regular basis, and it has our scores and a little check mark on the bottom saying who is better, and then we check off who's better at that specific game, and it's super fun. And it could be video games, it could be board games, it could be like you guys could have a cook-off every night, like switch off making dinner, and then whoever's dinner is better, you give yourself a point for that. It could literally be anything, but having some sort of friendly competition going helps you to keep flirting, and it just keeps things light and fun.
Number 7, this is actually the most important one. Make sure that you include God in your relationship. Whether it's praying together or doing devotions together, reading from God's Word together, just make sure you're prioritizing that time so that you can both grow closer to God as you grow closer to each other. And sometimes I know that at the end of the day you might be tired or exhausted and you really don't want to. I'm going to say that's one of the times you just have to push through and do it so that you can actually benefit from it.
Something my husband and I do every night, it is a really short devotional by James Dobson. Literally takes us like 5 minutes to finish it. Sometimes we end up going on for like an hour talking about the topic that it introduced, but it's really good. So just find something short like that you can just fit into your night.
Speaking of devotion, sometimes when we read it, you're right, it takes 5 minutes, and other times it really creates a good conversation.
Number 8, fun question of the day. This one is not a necessity, but my husband and I find it really, really fun. My husband has these tea bags that when he opens them, the little tags on it have a different question of the day every day. And so we start our mornings with a fun question of the day. And it could be a really deep question, something like, what was your childhood dream and what are your biggest goals in life? Or it could be a really silly question like, name your top 3 flavors. If you had to make up a song, what would it be about? Give us like the main line. And those are just really fun things. You could also do like switch off days and one person has to think of a joke that day or a pickup line, just something fun that you guys do every morning together and you think about it throughout the day, and then when you come home at night you have something fun to laugh over.
That actually relates to number 9, which is don't forget it's okay to flirt, y'all. It's okay for your kids to see it. It's so healthy for your relationship to keep on dating.
Number 10, second to including God in your relationship. This is the second most important one. It is turn off your electronics when you are together. I feel like that is the biggest distraction, and it makes me feel like he's not paying attention to me when he's on his phone. I'm sure it's the same for him when I'm on my phone and he's trying to tell me something really important. So just turn it off. It's not that important. Even if it's just for an hour every day, if you say during dinner time we're turning off the phone so we can have good conversation, just make sure you set aside time to be together without distractions, and the biggest one being your electronics.
So the way we approach no screen time is we'll usually joke together and say my phone wants a date with your phone, and then we put our phones together, and as they have their date, we have our talk time, our laughing time, our game time.
So we want to know what tips you guys have for staying connected to your spouse
and making sure that your marriage thrives. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
Yeah.